Yo, what up, man?
Yo, what's
Uh,
good, bro?
how are you, dude?
I'm doing fantastic over here. How are you?
I'm great. Good to meet you, my friend.
Yeah, good to meet you, bro.
It's fucking awesome, dude. So it's funny. I literally just got off with Jacoby like 2 minutes ago.
Oh, sick.
Uh,
Perfect.
and
Perfect timing. We went back to back.
straight up, that's
Boy.
exactly, dude. So it's awesome to have you on. Thanks for doing this today. I've been doing. I don't know how up to date you are, but so this whole thing is on via my Twitch, and I've been doing. Today's my 1 year anniversary of my Twitch, so I'm doing a 12-hour stream. I've been on since noon today. So you're actually my last guest of the night. I'm on
Oh, yes.
till midnight, but yeah, it's been a good day. It's been a crazy good day, and we've had a lot
What's
of
it
fun so
what's
far.
it what's it like to fucking stream for 12 hours straight? Like what have you been what have you
a lot of guests. We've been doing like because part of my stream I do like some music shit. I do like I paint, but then a lot of it is having like I essentially have kind of like a podcast where I have a bunch of guests on. So a lot of today has been a bunch of guests. I had like Matt from Trivium. I had Ronnie Radke. I had my whole band. I had Jacoby. So just a bunch of people like that, and then having you on. So
I,
that's filled a lot of the day, which has been cool.
yeah, but does your ass hurt from just fucking sitting there forever?
Sup-
Like
Surprisingly, I'm doing all right. I've gotten up a couple times for like some quick piss breaks, but the chairs treat me right today. The chairs
what
is
about
being alright.
food? What have
My
you been doing for food?
my wife brought me in food at like like 2, and then we used to do a thing. Her dad has like a beach house in like Central California, so we used to do a thing called Sunset Stream where we would just take our iPad out and fucking oh my god, blurry. We'd take our iPad out on the patio and you could see the ocean in the background, hear the waves. We just like have drinks and like fucking cheese plate and chill. So we did a sunset stream, but I just did it on a green screen instead, as you can see the green screen. Um,
Yes,
but
indeed.
so we did that. So I had a little bit to eat there. But then I think what I'm gonna do. Sorry, I'm covering this because I'm trying to focus. It's gonna get
Yeah.
there. We go. I think after you, I'm going late night. I used to do a cooking stream called Cooking with B Sal. So I think I'm gonna do a cooking stream after this. I'm gonna cook up like
Damn, bro, you're like a renaissance man over here.
I'm
You
all over
got
the fucking
all
place,
these,
dude. I'm all over the
got all
fucking
these fucking
place.
layers, all these sides.
Yeah. Oh shit. Okay, so I don't know if you're familiar with Twitch or not, but there's a thing on Twitch. Part of the whole thing is like you could sub to Twitch like you would a YouTube. But so
Yep.
I've been doing sub goals all day, and the final sub goal is going to be at 500 subs, and they're going to win something. But Jacoby just like donated a bunch of Papa Roach shit. It was like some of the Jeris Papa Roach merch and like some 7 inches and all kinds of shit. But someone just dropped like a fucking 40 bomb to get us there. We're almost to 500 guys. Lomian's fucking getting us there quick.
Let's go. Let's
Yeah,
go,
dude.
boys.
Fucking get it done. So talking about kind of being a renaissance man, like you're dipping into that territory yourself. I'm a dude that's, kind of like I would say on the outskirts of like genre wise, not really though, because genre wise today these days we're all blending together. But like you definitely have my attention, you know what I'm saying? I would love to just like kind of talk about your background and like the shit you grew up on and what kind of led you to the place that you're at right now.
Yeah, dude, it's been a interesting musical journey
Mm-hmm.
for me. It's been like, so I grew up, my dad was a drummer, my
Yeah.
mom was a singer. They met in rock bands and
Yeah.
shit. And then they never pushed music on me or anything, but I always had that natural, like, I don't know, just like ability for it or like affinity for it. I could sing and stuff.
For sure.
But I was doing sports and shit instead. And then when I was like 13 is when I like kind of ditched the sports and like took up music, took up drumming first,
Oh, sick.
and dad bought me a drum set. So I fucking started there, set it up in the living room, very supportive.
Yeah, that's dope.
And set up in the living room, and then I just fucking started playing. I was just good at it immediately, like just
Yeah,
right away. I don't know, I was just good at it. So I started
you're
there,
born with it.
and then I went to these like rock band camps,
Sick.
which were like where you, oddly enough, ironically enough, where you go and you do like cover songs, kind of,
Okay. Yeah.
but 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 I was getting so good at them. I signed up for every week because I just loved it, and I was like, "Mom is all I want to do all summer." Blah blah blah. So I signed up every week, and I did it for a few years in a row. And I had the same coach every time, and they started, they'd put you with people who are of your similar skill level, and I
Yeah.
was always like in the best band, So
Yeah.
I just like with the same people and stuff, and we started getting bored doing the same old stuff. So we started putting our own spin
Hmm.
on all the cover songs and shit, and just like I getting creative with it and stuff. And then that kind of led me into my first band, where I, took some of the people that I'd met doing that, and we started this band. And that band lasted all throughout high school. We were a metal band,
Hmm.
and fucking got into the metal and hard rock and all that shit.
Yeah.
Like it consumed me. Just
As it does.
yeah, as it does. And it just like I don't know, it just for some reason. What's funny because like it's not like you know I feel like a lot of the times people become fans of that, or people did become fans of metal and harder edge music because of the I don't know, I guess like the emotion attached to it, or
Yeah.
sort of whatever. But like it wasn't like that for me. It was just I just liked the fucking energy of it.
Yeah.
I
I
just
I
liked
think
the
that
energy.
goes hand in hand though. Like instead of paying attention to like lyric or emotion, like you just had that visceral thing that heavy music does to you.
Yeah, just
You know?
fuck. Oh,
Yes,
I felt
exactly.
So as a kid, it's just like, well, I don't know, I guess it's just what I gravitated towards. It wasn't like I've never been like a super, I don't know, quote unquote aggressive or even a sort of emotional person, like
Yeah.
that whole side of it. Like I'd never been like that, but it was just about the fucking energy of it, just and it was fun for
Yeah.
me. It was fun. So, I just liked that, and that's what drew me into like heavier music. And then, I was always good at writing like pop songs and stuff on the side. And all throughout the history of my band, I learned how to play guitar, taught myself how to play guitar and
Hmm.
piano and blah, 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 and everything.
Yeah.
And I was also the singer of the band too. So I was the drummer and the singer.
I know that.
And,
I know that well.
then I just like, I kind of, once the band broke up and everybody went off to college, I
Yeah.
knew I knew I was gonna do music because
Yeah.
I just knew. I was like, "God, there's just not a plan B for me," It's just it is gonna be music, and I'm
Hmm.
just gonna figure it out eventually,
Yeah.
somehow. So then that led me down the path of like learning how to produce, and all that type of shit, and
Hmm.
building that whole skill set, which took me a few years to get to like where I'm at now, and so then eventually, I started landing, I started fucking around on social media and trying different things, and then, trying to figure out really what my sound was going to be as an artist. And it
Yeah.
just took me a long time. It just took me a while. I'm 24 now, so it took me a good solid 4 or 5 years since I started learning how to produce and decide I was going to be my own artist, to really
Yeah.
figure out like who I was, what my sound was going to be, how to incorporate like my background and my influences, but also in a new way that
For sure.
makes me feel futuristic and different. And also I kind of went away from metal. I kind of stopped listening to metal and rock because it just wasn't cool or exciting to me
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
It became the same thing
Same
to
sort
me.
of
So
shit. Yeah.
yeah, so I just started going down this other path, and then eventually TikTok came around and started becoming the biggest thing, ever.
Yeah.
And just started throwing shit at the wall on TikTok, and took me like 9 months of posting on TikTok, just flopping over and over again. And then eventually I just fucking landed one, and
Yeah.
it was my song Damn, and it just went off, just went viral, and people were like, "Holy shit, dude, this is the most interesting. I've never heard music that sounds like this, blah blah blah. Like it's
Yeah.
so interesting." And it just went crazy. So I was like, "Fuck it. I'm gonna drop it. I'm gonna fucking drop it and just keep it going, keep it going, keep it going." And then from there it was just an astronomically fast, like million followers in 2 months,
It's fucking
record
crazy.
deal. Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous,
Yeah.
obviously, the way the internet, TikTok, and everything works. It's fucking ridiculous. But the good thing was I was ready for it because I'd spent all these years,
Preparing.
I'd spent all these years preparing,
For
and
sure.
I always wondered, I was like, man, why aren't I breaking through? Why aren't I breaking through? And I only realize now that I just wasn't artistically, I had all the
There yet.
skill, I had all the music ability and the skill, and I was always the most talented one, and I was always like in my whole area and everything. I was always like the guy who was
Yeah,
like the best at music. I always had that talent, but I just wasn't there like artistically yet, and I didn't quite know how to express it
for
yet and
sure.
all that. So,
Sometimes it takes a while to get there. You know what I mean? You
mhm.
just don't know. I have to say it really fast. It's funny. You came on. I was like, yeah, if we hit that sub goal, this whole time you've been talking, my fucking Twitch chat has been going off, and we just blasted through 500 and got through the
Fucking
final
hell.
goal today. I think it might have just been your energy, bro.
Yeah, baby. Got that winning energy, baby.
That's awesome.
Let's
So
go.
we'll do
Good
both
shit.
those. We'll do both those giveaways at the end of the night. That's awesome.
Good
No,
shit.
it's crazy. I mean, I feel like TikTok's been that new thing that just has that strange power. And like, it's funny because I think a lot of people are just like, I'm just posting stuff and then all of a sudden it happened. Obviously, you're like, I was posting shit for like 9 months and then finally something landed. But
Mhm.
it's so weird because you probably didn't think that that one song was going to be the one. It was like just another one that you put up.
It's yeah, so yes and no. The thing is, I've gone viral now a lot,
Yeah.
a lot of times, and every time I've gone viral, I knew it was gonna go viral,
Yeah.
or I had a feeling. I was like, this if this goes viral, I ain't gonna be surprised. Like
If this
this
works, yeah, this should
yeah,
work.
this is engineered to go viral.
Yeah.
I was very purposeful with the way I did it,
Yeah.
and how I presented it and everything and what I was combining and stuff. I was very intentional with like my moves that
Yeah.
way, and because I've studied social media for a long time and tried to figure out how to, I guess, like rig the system,
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
it, and with varying degrees of success. But yeah, I mean, I tried for 9 months on TikTok, and I had one thing go viral before, but it was a cover that me and my mom did together of a song, and it was really went viral, and I knew that was going to go viral because it was like we did this rap song, and so it was like it was just juicy, it was just
Yeah.
like it was just like too good to not get attention.
Yeah.
And it did get attention, but it wasn't like for my music, and didn't really build me a following as an artist or anything like that.
To
It was
just
just like
help the TikTok a little bit.
it was just a viral, yeah, it was just a viral video, and it got me, like a few, 10, it got me like 30,000 followers on TikTok, which on
Yeah.
TikTok sounds like a lot, but on TikTok it's not very much at
Yeah.
all. And so after that, I went back down to flopping again, for a long time. But I mean, all that while I was posting things on TikTok, going, "Ooh, this one could go viral. Ooh, this one could go viral," and they didn't,
Yeah.
you know. And then the one that did go viral, had the thought, this could go viral. Ooh, this one could go viral, and then it did,
I'm
So
gonna be right eventually.
yeah, I'm gonna be right eventually. If I have that mentality, and I just never stop,
Yeah.
obviously I'm gonna hit. And
I can see that.
and then it's just about capitalizing on the fucking, when you're having a moment, it's
You have to
just
be ready to continue that moment.
yeah, it just becomes like I had all this free money on the table,
Hmm.
So once I had the momentum and my notifications were going crazy, and after that one video went viral, I gained like remember the first day, the first like 24 to 48 hours that came out, I gained like 200,000 followers on TikTok
What
that
the
first
fuck?
day. And I was just like, holy shit. I was glued to my phone, just like watching the didn't want to miss a comment,
For
just
sure.
watching all the notifications. Oh my God, this is crazy. Just watching everything just go nuts,
Yeah.
And then I was just like, okay, now I've got all the eyeballs, now I've got it.
What's
Time
next?
to fucking run with it. Yeah. And so then I just started every week, every other day, every
Hmm.
week. I was just going ham, just fucking taking it and running with it, and just like knowing that I absolutely had to capitalize
For
on the
sure.
fucking moment, because
The second you
not
stop, people
often
forget. In this kind
that
of
yeah,
world, you know what I mean? This
yeah,
day and age
totally.
too.
Yeah, people lose interest about in things very quickly and
Yeah.
forget about the biggest news story a week ago is nothing
There's something
today.
else that will be more entertaining or distracting than, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. So it's like there's always, that's just part of it. And there's always going to be that now. The internet's a thing, so it's obviously not the biggest deal in the world. You can always, like, I've definitely, since that after I reached 1 million followers, I kind of slowed down a little
Mhm.
bit, and like just kind of started focusing on other things because now that I signed a deal, I'm like, okay, my first album,
Yeah.
and like all this shit. So I kind of had to like go get away from social media like a little bit more for a second. So I'm not so I lost quote unquote a little bit of that momentum, but
Yeah. But
now
you're
that you
gaining in other ways though. Like you're on the fucking radio and shit, and like
exactly,
stuff like
exactly.
that's happening that you probably, I would say, didn't expect to happen right away. You know?
No, I had no, I mean, I had no idea like, serious octane was going to be like such a big thing or
Yeah.
something, for me or what I had totally, I'm young and I don't think of the radio or a satellite radio or anything like that as being important at all,
Yeah.
but after seeing, the response that Last Resort Reloaded and then the Bring Me remix and everything has had on Octane, and just seeing how I get messages and tweets and Instagram stories, like tagging Instagram stories every single day
Yeah.
of people in their cars taking a picture
Of
of their
Octane.
yeah, of Octane and my name on it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, so apparently there is a
This is
fuck ton
bigger
of
than I
people.
thought. This is way
Yeah,
bigger than I thought.
apparently there is a fuck ton of people that still listen to Octane.
Well, you
So
think about that is in the States, like radio stations are way less because it's so regional. But like everyone in the entire country listens to Octane. It's like every fucking city, every town, every state has Octane. So it's like you can get just added by Octane and break top 30 at Active Rock Radio from
yeah,
a station because the amount of exposure and plays they can give you. Like
yep.
I was the same way like years back where it was like, who knows? Then you realize how fucking massive it is.
I know it was so very surprising to me because I'm just so living in the world of TikTok and
Yeah,
Spotify and so and Instagram, and I'm just like that's just my world. That's what I grew up in. So it's like that's where my head's at all the time. But it's so easy to forget that. I mean, I don't even think like Last Resort Reloaded went Billboard #1 for hot hard rock
fucking
song.
crazy, dude.
And I think that probably one of the big reasons is the spinning on Octane,
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
that probably had a good amount to do with it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's fucking rad. I want to say a quick hi. Jeff from the Huge just popped in the chat and said, "Hey, hi Jeff. I miss you. Hope you're well." Uh, I wanted to talk about how long, like what the Papa Roach song too. I mean, obviously the first song you said that popped on TikTok got you a huge kind of bit of momentum and growth. But like, where did the Papa Roach collab come from? Was that like from your angle or was that from them finding you?
I mean, it was from them finding me, but it was like I just made the Last Resort like TikTok, like I just did that, like
Yeah,
I made the song like that, but it was only like a minute of it,
yeah,
and they heard it, and within I remember real quickly, happened real quickly too, because it went viral right away when I posted it, got like a couple million hits on TikTok in a day or whatever,
yeah,
and it just did it immediately. And um and so like that kind of, and I remember I got a Instagram DM from Tobin, the bass
yeah,
player's brother, Anthony,
yeah,
and he was like, dude, saw your fucking Last Resort thing. It's fucking sick. Like I'm there touring good, Tobin's my brother and I'm
yeah,
there, I play guitar for him on tour and shit. And I'm like, oh sick, dude. Like I just said thank you and like whatever. Didn't expect anything of it or whatever. And then real quickly, fucking one of my buddies knew Bryson
hmm,
Roach,
yeah,
Jacoby's brother.
yeah,
And so so Bryson had caught wind of it, and then their Papa Roach's producer that they've been working with, Colin Britton, big rock producer, he
yeah,
caught wind of it. And so then I guess just the whole camp just kind of caught wind of it a little bit from different angles,
yeah,
must have talked about it, and then I got the invite, to come meet him at the studio because they were all in LA
yeah.
tracking drums and shit. And Jacoby invited me down, was like, hey, swing by and like let's fucking talk and hang out and like whatever. And just and I no had no expectations. I didn't, of course I was like, okay, I want to drop this song
This
with
could
them.
be tight.
Like, yeah, like I want this to go work, but I didn't have any expectations. I wasn't, I was just like, let's just go in and meet each other and just see if we even fucking vibe
For sure.
together. And of course we fucking did because Jacoby's an incredible human being.
Jacoby's Jacoby. That whole
He's
band though, like that whole band is such a fucking good time.
Oh, dude, I've gotten so close to those guys and had such good conversations and good experiences with them, and this whole thing has been super fun. And they've been so supportive of me and so like willing to just pass on their wisdom and
For
experience and
sure.
like sort of even theoretically pass on the torch
Yeah,
to me in a lot of ways.
absolutely.
And just it's been incredible. There's just such a good group of guys
I agree.
and so smart too, so actually surprisingly on the pulse of like everything, which I did not expect going in,
No, because they've been at it for so long that you're like, you
yeah,
don't expect a band like that to be like to somehow get like the youth, you
yeah,
know?
you don't at all, you don't expect that at all.
But I think it's
And they
been because of their
so
continued exposure of like their genre and their band coming back into the spotlight with
yeah,
like the younger
yeah,
audience that like you see that you have to recognize it and start to at least pay attention or else you're just a
yeah,
fucking idiot.
that's
Like,
probably a big part of it, like the meme culture of like Last Resort, being
yeah,
a thing. Just everything like that's probably a big part of it too. But Jacoby and I just fucking hit it off like two peas in a fucking pod.
for
And
sure.
um and then we went into his truck and we started playing each other our like unreleased music and shit. And he didn't know if I was like he didn't know if I was just some TikTok kid or what the
Mhm.
fuck what I had going on. I was playing in my music, and it just I'll never forget the look on his face. Like
I
when
was
it
like,
started,
this is you?
he just looked over me. He was like, dude, he's like, whoa, this is crazy. And I was like, yeah, like I'm not just like I'm not like a TikTok kid. Like I'm an artist that's just using TikTok to try to like, you know,
But it's funny though
do
because I feel like the norm is kind of that though. It's like oh, there's a lot of people out there that are just like big on TikTok and that's where it ends. They're like that's their ceiling and they're like that's all I wanted to do is get big on
yeah,
TikTok.
they're a
You
TikToker.
you
Yeah.
almost have to just completely prove yourself again in like the real like music world to for you know what I mean to be like oh this is actually what I do. Like this is actually
Yeah.
what I can do as well as just like make really popular videos on the internet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
That's dope though. And from there, obviously the Bring Me song just came next. You kind of just go, I'm gonna do this again.
Yeah, but I'll say, well, yes, I did. I thought, okay, like obviously once I saw that it worked, and then once we put out Last Resort, and I saw I saw how successful it did
Hmm.
immediately, and how many streams it was getting. I mean, it's almost at like 10 million streams already, and it's
Crazy.
only been like 2 months or something,
Yeah.
like.
Nuts.
So it's like it's gone crazy and like done really well. So I thought, okay, you know, yeah, fuck it. Can You Feel My Heart was having a moment on TikTok,
Hmm.
and it was getting popular and shit. And so then I fucking did it. But I had been, that had kind of become my formula, was taking these kinds of mid 2000s rock and metal songs and kind of doing my thing on them and just making them all new songs with
For sure.
they're like a new genre basically. It's
Yeah.
just me. It's like me taking like the hook or like the riff of it and then just flipping it into like a whole different thing.
For sure.
So I've done that with a bunch of songs, and that just kind of became my formula on TikTok because it's just what worked over and over again.
Yeah.
And Can You Feel My Heart was, yeah, I mean, just another one of those things. And yeah, and then fucking next day, 24 hours, Oliver Sykes is in my DMs on Instagram, like, dude, I fuck with your shit. Like,
That shit
labels and
came
want.
out so fast.
Yeah, it did. It did. It fucking that one was faster than Last Resort. Last Resort took a couple months.
Yeah.
They were Ollie was real when I was FaceTiming him, like from the get-go. He was real like, we're trying to fucking let's just do it. Like, let's just get it
Yeah.
out. Like we love what you did. So just let's finish it and get it out. And I
Go,
was like,
go,
all
go,
right,
go.
cool.
Well, it's the
So I
same thing
sent it
too, is it's like them jumping on the timeline that you've already created on TikTok. Because like they don't want that to fade away before people forget that or maybe
exactly.
that song's not popular anymore on TikTok. It's moved on to the next thing. It's like you got to
Exactly.
jump on that while it's still
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They wanted to hop on the momentum of their TikTok trend and of mine going, of ours going viral and shit. And
It's so funny how
all
random
that
that
stuff.
shit is too. Like not a new Bring Me song that you'd think genre wise
I
would
know.
would land harder on TikTok, like an old song that's totally irrelevant out of nowhere just becoming fucking just blowing up.
I know. I
It
know.
doesn't make it's so random.
It is random. And I even asked him, I was like, did you guys, was this like a push from somebody to let, what's the deal with this? They're like, we have no idea. They had no idea either. It was like, it literally did just randomly
Happen.
fucking go viral. Yeah.
So
And just
funny.
kind of have a moment again. And that's happened. I mean, it's not the only song that's like that. There's been all kinds of old songs and, all the way back from songs that, there's been songs from the fucking 80s and shit.
Yeah.
Like, that have like resurgence on TikTok and had
Yeah,
trends.
out of
Okay.
nowhere. There's like no rhyme or reason.
Yeah, and well, that Fleetwood Mac song is a good example of that.
Exactly.
Fucking Stevie Nicks. And and then there's songs, and it's even weirder because it's like it's a song that's it's like old enough to where it's okay. It's like, but it's not that old though.
No.
It's like not like a throwback song. It's like this weird middle. It's like this weird middle amount of oldness that almost doesn't make any sense as to why anybody would even be paying attention to that time period. Because it's like,
Yeah.
but like 8 years ago, like
It's not that old. Yeah.
2013 or something, like,
Yeah.
it's a really strange, time period to like reach back into or something. Cause it's not really nostalgic quite yet.
I think you have like the younger generation that's even like younger than you. Like you're kind of like 16, 17, 18, you know what I mean? Range where like they like that Bring Me record was like what their older brother listened to. And now they're like, oh, that's cool now. Like to them, it's older than they think it is almost. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah.
But
I mean, I'm sure there's some rhyme or reason behind it, of course,
for sure. Or there's fucking not, or it just
or,
exists.
or it's just chaos.
Yeah.
Just universal chaos that doesn't matter. So yeah,
For
who the
sure.
fuck knows? But it's like the really, TikTok and everything is just, it's like the Wild West right
Yeah.
now. There's no fucking rules. There's no playbook to it.
No.
Everybody's using it in different ways and exploiting it in different ways and trying to crack the code on how to use it successfully and all this shit. It's a madhouse. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I don't even know that there is a code. Like I
There's
can't
not.
figure out if there is one. It's not like Instagram where it's like if you use the correct algorithm, like the way to trick the algorithm, and you do the right post with the right wording, and you get a certain amount of likes and comments in a certain amount of time, like more people will see your shit, blah blah. That there's a little bit of science behind it. I don't see that with the other end. It's just
Yeah,
like
the science of the TikTok algorithm is like this. Got all this mythology behind it, bro. It's like everyone's like, oh, it's okay. So it's all these weird secrets that people are trading around. Like I heard that if you type out a cuss word, then it actually like fucks with the algorithm because it maybe thinks it's like, maybe it could be inappropriate or have something. So it pushes it to less people at first and blah blah blah. So then you should censor this or whatever. There's all these little thing, the time of day you're posting and
yeah,
our likes more than this and duetting and go everyone needs to go hit the share button and hit the copy link button but don't actually send it anywhere to trick the algorithm into there's all these things, dude. It's like
yeah,
crazy. People have gone so far into like trying to dig up what the trick is to the
yeah,
algorithm or whatever, but honestly at the end of the day it's really it's the same as anything else. It's a fucking stage. You can either use it to perform on and if your product is good, if you're interesting, if you're funny, if you're
hmm
entertaining, if the music is good, whatever, it's gonna get attention eventually,
it'll get some at least some attention.
yeah, if you keep plugging away, it'll get fucking attention. The algorithm wants, you to be seen. It's very favorable for the most part.
Yeah,
So if you've got a good fucking TikTok, if you got a good video or a good song or a good piece of content or something clever or something interesting or something shocking or whatever,
yeah,
it's probably gonna do something,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
probably gonna it's rare that it's kind of like that. I've always had this like theory or this like thought that like, has there ever been like a smash hit song that's been made that didn't become a hit? Like a song that was so good, like totally really good enough to be a
Yeah.
fucking hit and it just didn't become a hit. Like I don't know if that's ever happened,
For
I don't
sure,
know.
it has happened, but it's been because I think it has happened. Well, it still happens. I think a lot of it was like pre internet takeover age, where like if if a label or your team or everything
Sure, somebody did
didn't
push it.
like push it or shine enough of a light on it. But even still, if it's like there's tons of
Yeah,
great songs that, yeah. It's
I guess
so
to me it's
there's
like,
so much
okay,
luck of the draw. There's so much luck, I think, involved.
what I'm getting at is basically if I go and upload an incredible song, it's actually an incredible song, like undeniably incredible,
Yeah.
it's going to get recognized for that
Yeah,
because of the way the internet is.
for
Like
sure.
if it is truly incredible,
Hmm.
then it will move.
For sure.
It will get attention. It will get popular because if it's truly incredible, people will talk about it, people will share,
Yeah,
people will comment on it, people
absolutely.
will like it. So that's my theory. It's like if you can fucking run yourself around in circles trying to figure out the algorithm and the posting and the this and the trick and the anything, but at the fucking end of the day, if you're uploading a fucking captivating piece of content,
Hmm.
that's the only thing that matters.
For sure.
You know,
Yeah, it
that,
really comes down to it. It's like we always talk about with our producer John Feldman. He like is the king of like his whole thing is song is king. It's like doesn't matter what it is, song is king. If a song is great, it will translate. Doesn't matter what your genre is or what box people put you in. Write a great song, no matter what it sounds like. If it's a great song, people will like it.
yep,
Bottom line, that there's no more science to it than that.
yeah,
It just
yep.
depends on how great you think you are and how great you actually are. Is the
Yeah, and there's
difference,
different, there's different measurements of great. Is
of
great
course.
being most creative and interesting? Is great being able to write the catchiest hook? Is
Mm,
great being able to? Is great the amount of streams you get, or is it a cool music video you do, or what? There's a
yeah,
lot of different ways to measure
of course,
quote unquote greatness.
absolutely. Yeah,
Just who knows? It's a fucking art. That's at the end of the day. We're trying to measure art, which is
which is immeasurable,
almost
essentially.
impossible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
almost impossible.
It's it's besides the point to
Exactly.
try to.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
awesome, man. Dude, it's definitely a cool thing to watch. I mean, obviously, like I'm on the outside looking in of the kind of your world, the kind of TikTok world and everything, but you very much see it bleeding into what everything that I'm used to, and you can't help but notice. You can't help but take notice and pay attention. You know what I mean? And like it is super interesting what you do. It's super different, and like there's something to what you're doing that is definitely it's working for sure. It's dope.
Yeah, to me, it's just this. It's like there's this feeling I get there where there's just this gap that hasn't been filled in the modern world yet,
Mhm.
where it's like it feels like rock has kind of been pushed aside in a
Mhm.
way
Yeah.
in the culture in the mainstream consciousness,
Yeah.
and there's this kind of there's this sort of bubbling resurgence that's starting to happen with like Machine Gun Kelly and
Mhm.
some of these more popular artists that are kind of inheriting this rock aesthetic or pop punk or whatever you want to call it
Yeah.
thing. But like I just feel like there's this way though too to like take that even a step further, and just really like push it into the future,
Yeah.
because rock to me became boring to listen to when people stopped. I don't know, it's like it stopped being the fucking thing that would piss off your parents, because rap became the thing that was going to piss off my mom,
Yeah.
you know. That's what it became. So rap kind of became the new rock because
Yeah.
that was what was the fuck you grandma like music,
For sure. For sure.
And so to me, like rock has kind of in the past 10 years or so or whatever has just on the whole in general like lost a little bit of that attitude
Mhm.
to it,
Mhm.
that little bit of that youngness that kind of that makes it that rambunctious, thing. And it's always been that, from Elvis
Mhm.
to Metallica to whatever. It's always been this rebellious anti-young thing, and I just think it feels like it's time, like the 20s,
Yeah.
feels like it's time to like get back to that
Well, you can feel
spot,
it, especially being
but
in
it
this world. Like you feel it because you're coming from like a different angle where rock, like the rock side is almost you're bringing like the more pop or hip hop side into the rock world. Like a lot of some of the artists that you mentioned, but like coming from the rock or metal side too. Like I feel you feel it bubbling up too. Like for the last couple years, even when it started with like the resurgence of like emo night and like all emo music and
Yeah,
pop and
yeah,
even pop punk. Like you have multiple hip hop artists out now that are making pop punk records, like multiples, and they're all doing well. Like you start to that only bleeds into the next extreme. You know what I mean? So it's like that pop punk's gonna be like, oh, like what's this kind of heavier shit, and it
yeah,
bleeds into the next
exactly,
extreme version of
exactly.
the genre.
I'm always like, okay, well, what's after the pop punk thing? You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like, because now it's like, okay, well, the pop punk thing is almost like dead. It's almost not even cool to me anymore. You know, it's been done for the past few years now.
Yeah,
It's people pull this emo thing off. Okay, whatever. What's the next thing? And honestly, to me, the next thing is making because a lot of the shit, like I like Machine Gun Kelly and whatever, just like the next person, but like that album sounds like it was made years ago. You know, it
it's
does
for
not
sure. Yeah, it's
it
nostalgic.
doesn't with a but yeah, it's a nostalgia trip almost exclusively,
Hmm.
you know? And to me, that's not what rock doesn't need that. What rock needs is to feel like a trip to the future, you know?
Yeah,
Rock needs to sound like it came from 2030 now, you
for
know?
sure.
It needs to sound like that, like people always, you always hear these really old people, like, your great grandparents, whatever, talking about the first time they ever heard rock and roll or something like that, and they always describe it in all these documentaries and shit. They always describe hearing these artists for the first time, and they always say like, I had never heard any music like that in my entire life. It was like
Hmm.
almost foreign to them. It
Yeah.
was just so surprising and so new sounding. And
Where has
that's
that been? Where
yeah,
that's been gone?
it's gone. So it's just to me, that's what rock needs to get back again, is that
I agree.
sense of like, what the fuck am I listening to right now? Like, I never heard music that sounds like this before,
Yeah,
That's the
I agree.
energy rock needs again.
I agree. I feel like, I mean, I look at art, like more modern artists, like there's someone like you who's doing very different, but there's artists like Poppy, who are like a pop Beach Boys death metal band, and you're
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry, like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And like a lot of our new shit is like heavy as fuck with like a no holds barred pop chorus. Like
Yeah.
we're not trying to like, you know what I mean? It's the blend is there. And it
Yeah.
happened. It happened back when we first kind of started our ascension, where like, you know, we would do tours with like the Used or Taking Back Sunday, or we do Warp Tour or something. But then we'd also do Ozfest and those festivals where in those genres and those crowds, we were the most horrifying thing people had seen. Like it was like we were playing to like Taking Back Sunday crowds, like girls in the front row were just like, "What is
Yeah.
this?" But then,
Horrified.
but then we're obsessed by the end of the night because it scared them. Same thing like you're saying, like rock and roll did to like kids, where it was like, "I don't know what this is, but I don't feel weird about it, and I want it now." So I feel like it's the only progression is to, like you said, like move on to the next extreme again. And I feel music is so cyclical, and every time something comes back around, it's just a more extreme version of what it was before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Totally.
even pop punk, you look at like the resurgence of pop punk, and it's like even more gummy and like pink than it was in the first place. And
Yeah.
then it's the same thing, like hard rock or metal or hardcore, whatever you want to call it, will come back into that realm and just be even more extreme and just heighten itself. I think it's like it's
Yeah,
it's
and also because the technologies are gonna allow for it,
mhm.
because now we have a whole new way of making music than we did back then.
Yeah.
So naturally it's gonna have this sound that's just you couldn't have made it back then,
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's gonna be more extreme. It's gonna have a more, hopefully futuristic tinge to it. Where I
For
mean, we're in
sure.
the fucking dude, we're in the year 2021, which is a hella futuristic ass sounding year if you really think about it.
Think about when I was a kid, like futuristic movies were based in like the 2020s. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And it feels like, dude, it's definitely feels very futuristic to me.
Of
Like the
course.
20s, the fucking 20s. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Dude, like that's fucking crazy, man. It's like it's me, and it's like that moment where I'm like, holy fuck, I'm getting old, even though I'm only 24,
Yeah.
but I'm
You're a
still like,
little you're a little ass kid.
I know, but I'm still like, holy fuck, dude, 20 years, like here in a few years, to the year 2025,
Yeah.
will be like, holy shit, I'll be 30 or something. Like
Yeah.
and it'll be like fucking, it'll be like, no, I won't be quite 30, but it'll be like to the year 2005
Hmm.
was 20 years ago.
Yes.
Holy fuck, that's fucking crazy, dude. Because
Bro,
I don't think of I don't
It's
think of
nuts.
shit like that at all.
Atreyu, what, in 2019, at the end of 19, we did our 20-year anniversary tour. And we didn't think about it until we were like on it. And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, it's been almost 22 years since we've been a band. And it's like, what the fuck? I had Ronnie Radke on the show earlier today. And we're talking whatever. And he's like, oh, I was a huge fan of you guys when I was like growing up. I was just a kid and I got your first EP at Hot Topic and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, how old are you? I'm like, I'm 37. And he's like, what? He's like, I'm 37. I'm like, so? He's like, I was a kid listening to your band thinking you were some older dude. He's like, you were my same age. I'm like, I turned 18 on my first tour. And we just like kept going and never stopped. But it's like, but then you think about that in context, you're like, 20 fucking years. Yeah, right. That doesn't seem like that's so much time.
All you fucking guys are like that though too, like fucking Papa Jacoby, Pop Roach guys. They were all 18 and shit when everything fucking popped, or like 20 or something. They were all hella young when it popped off, and
for sure.
Like, and so many, and I used to get jealous about all these fucking kids who are like blowing up when they're like 18, because I'm like, holy fuck, dude. Like, how are you guys doing that shit? Like, and I always felt like, fuck, I'm like talented. I could fucking do it. I just realized of course, now I'm look back, I'm like, oh, I know exactly why it wasn't working back then.
It wasn't there. Yeah,
but
it wasn't.
It just wasn't there yet. And everybody has their own timeline, but even I feel like, fuck, I'm 24 already. Like, damn, I kind of wish I'd figured this out when I was 20.
Yeah, for sure.
That would be cool, but oh well, who the fuck cares? I'm still young as fuck in the grand scheme of things, obviously. So
yeah,
it doesn't really matter. But it's just like, I don't know, it's just fucking crazy. It's like, it's crazy how all you guys and all those bands were fucking 18 years old. Like, listening to Jacoby talk about Last Resort and just the moment that was, and just their lifestyle that was creating for them.
Yeah,
they were that young. I'm like, fuck, thinking back to, like, I could handle it now, but like thinking back to when I was 18 and thinking I was ready for that type of thing. But like, man, if I were to be going through like what I'm even going through now when I was 18, like, just it wouldn't have worked. I wouldn't have known what the fuck I was doing. It wouldn't have.
This day and age is crazy. I sound like a fucking old ass man. Something like this day and age, but like if music was how it was now when I was 18 and we were doing that shit. When I was 18, it was like jump in the van, play shows for fucking 2 months straight with 2 days off, sleep on floors. Like, that's the only way you grew, right? Now, being an 18-year-old kid, it was like the Wild West. I was stoked. I'm like, I'm fucking 18. I'm like living my own life. It's dope as fuck. Do whatever the fuck I want. Now it's like blasting into the stratosphere of the internet, and all of a sudden you're like, money's in play, like popularity's in play, global exposure. I would have been, I don't know what the fuck would have happened to me.
I don't even, dude. I have, I haven't even played a show. I've got 1.5 million.
Never won.
I mean, like with my band, I did a bunch,
but never a Jeris Johnson show.
Never a Jeris Johnson show ever.
That's crazy, bro.
Never.
I actually applaud that. I think that's fucking because the first time you play a show, the first show you ever have will probably be like thousands of people sold out.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, that's the good thing. That's the quote unquote good thing about the quarantine situation. Is just like, oh, okay, like, well, by the time, because I didn't have a fan base until like November of last year. A few months ago.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't have a fan base until a few months ago, so I couldn't have wouldn't have pulled anybody to a show anyways. And I was in Oregon, whatever. So it was whatever. Of course, I didn't play a show because I knew it didn't matter until I had a fan base.
For sure.
So now that I have a fucking fan base, I'll fucking pull to a show. I can fucking pull. I'll pull people to a show, and it will be my first show. Will be fucking dope. Like, it'll go
tight.
off.
That's tight as fuck, because you can do all the cool shit you want to do as a band when you're like, you have to wait till you're established. You just fucking do it from the jump.
Yeah, I know. It's great. It's super nice. It's super convenient in that way. For sure.
I've had multiple people in my chat that keep asking, what Atreyu song would you choose for Jeris to remix? I have no fucking idea. I was like, I have no fucking idea.
Well, what's like your biggest hit?
Depends on what era you're talking about.
Well, like, what's got the most streams on Spotify?
Most song. Let's see. I think it's Becoming the Bull, but that song's like 10 years old. Let me look. Changes. Actually, you know what? It might be time. The Time Is Now. That's off our last record. Time Is Now is the biggest one. Cool. Yeah, that's the biggest. And then the next is Becoming the Bull.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's funny. but it's always funny. It's you have a style about you that's cool because like I said the same thing. I was talking to Ronnie earlier, and I was saying the first time I heard that Falling in Reverse song Alone was the first song he did where he like full on rapped. And like,
Alone, dude.
and
Yeah,
he
I
got,
remember hearing that song for the first time too, dude.
yeah. And I was like, the song first came on, and I was like, White Boy on the Beat, rocking Gucci sneaks. I was like, it first came on, and I was like, what? And then the next time I heard it, I was like, oh fuck, okay. I want to hear the song again. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Like I get it. And it's the same for you. Like the first time I heard your shit, I was like, huh. I was like, what is this? Like, at first I didn't know what it was. I'm like, what is this? What's this about? And it was the Papa Roach song.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is this kid about? And then like listen again, and you're like, this is kind of. I mean, I'm not the only one that's ever done this, but it was like, this is kind of fucking dope. Like,
Yeah.
this is just a whole. You're not remixing songs. You're like making a whole new thing out of.
Yeah, it's like a whole new song.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
dope.
don't know. It's just if it all goes back to those fucking rock band camps that I was in.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the foundation that I developed when I was 13, 14 years old was
Yeah.
like fucking flipping songs and having fun with them because I just got so bored just doing a normal cover.
For sure.
So I kind of built that, I don't know, I guess philosophy.
Literally where your style came from, essentially.
Yeah, kind of. And of course, and I have, you know, like it's not even about the the remix thing has just been a sort of stepping stone to get started, you know.
Yeah.
But it's really all about my original music to me, you know.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, when you do your album, are you working on your album now, or?
yeah, I'm about 2/3 of the way done.
So,
with the
and
album.
is your first album going to be all just straight up original shit, or are you still going to
Yep.
do some kind of like remixes or features and shit
Nope.
like that?
All original. Yeah.
That's dope. See, that's
Original.
a bold, like that's a ballsy step, but I think that's an awesome step.
Yeah, it's because it needs to happen. You know, it needs to be known that I'm not just like a little cover like artist.
Well, you can't live on as a TikTok artist forever.
Yeah, exactly. It needs
what I
to be. It needs to be a very bold, very like attention grabbing fucking album that just turns a lot of heads and makes people go,
Sure.
holy fuck, what the fuck is this? And
Cool.
that's exactly what it needs to be, and that's what it's going to be. It already is. That I just need to finish it, but
That's awesome. Man.
yeah, I'm hard at work on that, but yeah, no remixes, no whatever. I think, you know, the Bring Me thing was kind of the last, you know, the big one that I'd release, you know,
Yeah.
unless for some reason I happen to post another one on TikTok and it goes really, really viral, and then the original artist gets involved and they want me to drop it or whatever, you know, unless there's still one more of those scenarios out there,
For
which
sure.
is, I mean, I don't have any fucking rules. So, you know, I like to keep
Yeah.
my mind open and whatever opportunities happen. I mean, it's done really well and it's fucking
Of course.
obviously gotten me here to this point. So, you know, I'm not like, I'm not against it 100%, but
it's gotten you here right now talking to me.
literally,
right now.
literally,
I'm just kidding.
literally true.
That's awesome, dude. Well, it's fucking cool, man. It's cool to watch. It's cool. Like for me, like I said, like coming up in a totally different kind of era. And I mean, Atreyu has kind of adapted through the ranks, like very much like Papa Roach has, like kind of just like ebbed and flowed through the years and just kind of like never really changed. But we've always been that band that shifted sounds and tried new things and actively tried to be different and not do the same shit all the time.
Yeah.
And it's cool to kind of see the new wave of that, and like what you're doing is on a different, like a whole another level. So it's definitely, it's cool to watch, man.
Thank you. Yeah, it's the only way to be. You know, it's not fun. It's not fun to make art. You know, you wouldn't sit there, and you said you paint. You wouldn't sit there and paint the same painting over and over and over and over again.
It's boring as fuck.
You know what I mean? Like you just want to make something new. That's what we do as an artist. You know, we want to make new shit. You want to keep spreading your fucking artistic seed as far as it can go, you know, and
that's
see
that should be the only thing that matters. Period.
Yeah, and
we're going through this shit right now. We released our newest single, and like old fans that have hated on our music for 15 years are still just like, fuck you guys, this is bullshit, blah blah blah. So we're going through it, whatever, and then we put out a video. And the video was just my whole band beating the shit out of me for 3 minutes. Like, it's brutal. And it's like, it's fucking violent. And our label was like, people are going to be so offended by this. Like, we're scared to put this out. And I'm like, isn't that the point? Isn't it the point of art to like get some sort of reaction or feeling out of something? Like, otherwise paintings would just be white canvas. music would just be one fucking tone that was comfortable to listen to. Like, isn't that kind of the point, to like stir people up a little bit?
Yeah, the point is to make, what music can do and what art can do in general is make people feel new emotions. You know,
Yes.
if you hear a certain song and it just catches you the right way, and it's something you haven't heard before, that's a new feeling that you're getting that you've
Yes.
never felt before, where you're like, what the fuck is it? And it's just giving you a whole new whole new fucking emotion
Yeah.
that you're feeling.
Absolutely. I agree.
Pretty fucking cool.
I agree, man. Dude, I appreciate you coming on tonight, man. You're my last guest of the night, and I'm gonna actually cook. I'm gonna fucking cook food right now after I get off with you
Good
on
shit,
stream. But I gotta tell
Yeah.
you, I'm pleasantly surprised and stoked that this conversation went in a way cooler direction than I expected. Because I will say, from judgment of just like, oh, I don't know you, I've never talked to you. It's like he's a TikTok kid. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't say lit once this whole fucking thing. You know what I mean? Like, you're a dude who loves music. Your background is legit. Like, your hustle is legit, and I respect it, man. So I appreciate
Thank you.
I appreciate the time.
I appreciate you having me on. I appreciate your kind words, sir.
Of course.
Thank you
Where do you
very
live?
much.
Where do you live?
I'm in LA.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm in Orange County, so I'm sure we'll cross paths at some point.
Yeah, dude, totally.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah,
Cool.
man. Take care of yourself, all right?
All right, yeah, thank you. You too, bro.
Peace. All right.
Bye.
Fuck, that's our guests for the day.